Good morning. Today we are correcting CO10, our last objective in Unit 1. So we were working on that order of operations, working with PERMDAS. So we did that bottom part of this page together. We got 11, 50, 11, and 17. Now let's correct our second page. We have -2, -24, 1, and 1. And we have 63, 2, 12, and 21. Anybody have any questions on how I got any of those answers? Callie?
-3 plus 8 times 2 plus 1.
So the very last one?
Yeah.
So what's our first thing we're going to do in PERMDAS?
Parentheses.
The parentheses. So we have 2 plus 1, so we know that's a 3. Then remember, we want to bring down the rest of the equation. So we had -3 plus 8 times 3. So now what's our next level of PERMDAS that we're going to do, Callie?
Exponents.
Yeah, exponents, and there are no exponents or radicals. So what's the next level? Multiplying and dividing. And we do have a multiplication here. 8 times 3 is 24. Then we're going to bring down the rest of it, and we have -3 plus 24. You added before you multiplied? Mm-hmm. So that's why we do these extra steps of writing down and then checking through which level from us we're at. So -3 plus 24 would be the 21. Madeline?
Can you do 2 times?
This one?
Yeah.
All right, what's our first step we're going to do?
Parentheses.
Parentheses. So we have -4 plus 6 is what? 2. And then we have another set of parentheses. So 9 minus 5. 4. Now we're going to bring down everything else from our equation. So we have 2 times that 2. We're going to bring down that dividing. And we've got our 4. So now what's the next level of PERMDAS that we're going to do? So what's on that whole level? Multiplying and dividing. So we read from left to right when we're at the same level, whatever we hit first. So multiplying and dividing, reading from left to right, we have 2 times 2. We come to that first, so we've got 4. We're going to bring down our dividing. We're going to bring down that 4. So now we've got 4 divided by 4 is 1. Do you see where you went wrong? Okay. Any other one that you want me to show how we did it step by step? Which one?
Wait,
You're good? Okay. Yes.
Can you do the 1 plus 4 divided by 2?
Yes. So when we are in parentheses, we do the order of operations inside the parentheses. So there's not a second set of parentheses. There's not an exponent or radical, but there is a multiplying or dividing. We have 4 divided by 2. So we have to do that part first. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then we're going to bring down the rest of what's inside that parentheses, 10 plus 2, because that is still part of our parentheses.
Yeah.
Then 10 plus 2 is 12. Now we're going to bring down the rest of our equation divided by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So you just have to remember, inside the parentheses, you have to follow the order of operations still.
Yeah, I did that wrong.
Okay.
I forgot to do the parentheses.
Yes. Any other questions? Okay, let's look at the next part, putting parentheses into our equations to get it to equal 27. So the first one we did together, we knew that 2 plus 7 is 9, and 3 times 9 was 27. Our next one, we still want to get those 3s and 9s to multiply together to equal 27. So we have 2 plus 1 is 3, and 5 plus 4 is 9. So we have 3 times 9, which equals 27. So our parentheses separate out the 2 plus 1 and the 5 plus 4. Our last one, this one got a little bit trickier. So instead of 3 and 9, we're going to use those parentheses to do 3 times 3 times 3, because we know 3 times 3 is 9. So we're going to break that 9 into 3s. So we have 3 times 7 minus 4. 7 minus 4 is 3 times 3. 3 to the third power is 27. Because 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Any questions on how I got there? All right, let's look at our review. The absolute value of negative 18. One of my friends in here was working on Khan Academy, and I assigned an absolute value assignment because that was our very first objective in this unit, and we have done so much math since then, we forgot that absolute value is those 2 bars outside of our number. That means the absolute value. Absolute value is always what kind of number? Madeline?
The distance from the number from 0.
It's the distance of the number from 0. So can it be negative? Can you go a negative distance?
Change the plan. Recess is now outside.
Told you it would
Recess is
change.
outside.
Okay, so absolute numbers will always be positive. We don't count -1, -2, -3 from 0. We count 1, 2, 3 from 0. Going either direction, it's still the same jumps from 0. So absolute value is shown by those 2 bars, and it is always positive. So when you are doing that Khan Academy assignment and you see the 2 bars, it means it is absolute value. Write 2 numbers that are opposites. I chose -5 and 5. You could have chosen any number that you wanted to, as long as it's the same number. 1 is positive and 1 is negative. Right? So opposites means positive and negative opposites. 49 divided by -7 is -7, because a positive divided by a negative will be negative. Multiplying -3 times -6 and negative times a negative will be a positive. So 3 times 6 is positive 18. Adding -15 is 14. So remember, on that number line, if we are at -15 and we are adding, we're going to the right. So if we go to the right 14 places, we end at -1. Excuse me, I'm still correcting. We are still in the recording. Open your book up and just listen, because closing up the book and talking to your friend will be on the recording. -5 minus 3, if we're on that number line and we're at -5 and we're going to subtract, subtracting goes to the left. We need to go over 3 places and we end at -8. Any questions on our positives and negatives? All right, now ordering our decimals from least to greatest. Remember, you can stack those decimals to see. We have not negative, 1.03, 1.154, 1.3, 1.75. So in our ones place, they were all ones. So we had to look at our tenths place and put them in order by the tenths place. We pay $12.30 for an item with a $20 bill. How much change should you get back? We need to stack those decimals to do our subtracting. So 20, we need to put in that 00 after our decimal so we can subtract away. We get $7.70 as our change. Now we're to our exponents. That's more recent for us. Writing 2 to the third power in expanded form and evaluating, we have 2 times 2 times 2. And when we do the math, it equals 8. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, we need to write that as an exponent. So your base is the 3, so that's our big number. Our exponent is, I see the 3 4 times. That's the small number up to the right. When we do the math and we multiply 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, or we put into our calculator 3 to the 4th power, we get 81. Any questions on that? Ava?
For the order of decimals from least to greatest, I read it from least to greatest, but for some reason after I stacked them, I did it greatest to least, so would that be wrong?
Yes. On the test, if you accidentally reverse it, it will be wrong. So that's one of those things you're going to want to say, I need to double check and make sure I put it in the correct order. So, who can tell me what the square root of 81 is? What do you think, Melanie? 9, because 9 times 9 equals 81. So the square root of 81 is 9. That's just a quick little review. So remember, we are going to be taking the practice test on Monday, real test on Tuesday. I'm going to stop the recording for our correction. If you are at home, we hope you are well, and we hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.